Hi, Bill from CJ Pony Parts. Today we're going to be installing a Roush Front Chin Splitter on our 2013 Mustang. Roush produces a splitter to fit all 2013 V6 and GT models, and it comes factory on all the Roush Mustangs. The splitter will give your car a more aggressive front end while bolting to your stock bumper cover. The chin splitter includes detailed instructions along with all the mounting hardware necessary to install. It will require cutting your factory chin splitter, so make sure you have the proper tools before beginning the installation. For this installation, you'll need a lift or jack and jack stands, a small screwdriver or pick, a 1/4-inch ratchet, a short extension, a 7mm socket, an 8mm socket, a tape measure, an air or electric saw, a deburring tool, a razor blade, a drill, an 1/8-inch drill bit, a 1/4-inch drill bit, and safety glasses. We'll be installing the Roush Performance Splitter on our 2013 Gotta Have It street car. The first step is to get the car safely supported in the air using either a lift or jack stands. At that point, you'll need to remove the factory lower air deflector to begin your installation. First step is to turn your wheel inward so you can get to the two 7mm bolts that are holding on the edges of the front splitter. Next, you'll remove the three 7mm bolts holding on the edges of the splitter. Now you want to repeat that process on the other side. Next step is to remove the lower air deflector. Held in place, 6 8mm bolts in the front, 5 7mm bolts in the rear. Now move on to the 5 rear 7mm bolts. Now you can remove your lower air deflector. Once you remove the lower air deflector, you want to access the final 2 8mm bolts and remove them. Next, remove the 8 gray plastic U-nut holders. So we'll use a small screwdriver pick, get a hold on it, and they simply pop out. Now I need to remove the 3 push pins located on either side of the bottom of the fascia. Using a small pick, push up on the tab to remove it. Now you need to remove the 6 push tabs that are holding the fascia to the lower of the bumper. Push the tab in and pull down. And remove your factory splitter. The next step in the installation is to modify your factory splitter, since part of it is used with the installation of the new Roush splitter. First step is to remove the factory mounting tabs from the top surface of your splitter. You may need a razor blade of some sort. We found for the most part if you just put pressure on the tab, it'll simply snap off. You want to continue to do that with the rest of the tabs. Typically they'll remove cleanly. If there is any excess, just take a razor blade and clean the surface to make sure it is flat with the splitter. Here you can see our Roush splitter with our factory splitter. The Roush splitter is going to use the factory splitter as a base for a mounting point, which is going to require you to trim it 18.5 inches in from the end. You want to cut just this top piece off using a pneumatic saw so this can lay on top of it. Now you need to finish modifying your factory splitter to use as the base for the new Roush splitter. You need to measure an 18.5 inches from the end and mark the section to be cut. Now you need to actually cut out your factory splitter to mount your Roush splitter to it. Because of the flexibility of the factory splitter, it's a good idea to have 2 people do this. We're going to have RK from a restoration shop give us a hand in cutting our splitter. Now you want to grab some sort of a deburring tool and just clean up your edges. Since it's not visible, it doesn't have to be perfect, you just want to get rid of any of the large pieces. Now you want to place your Roush splitter on top of your original modified splitter to see how it fits. You want to line up the holes in the center and then check your edges for fitment. The Roush splitter should fit flush with the end of the factory splitter here. In our case, we're going to have to trim just a little bit more to make it sit flush. We'll recheck our fitment. Okay, now it fits nice and flush in the corner like it's supposed to. Now we need to install the 8 supplied J-clips in the factory location, making sure the stud is pointing upward. They simply slide into place onto our bumper cover. The Roush splitter will require to drill 6 additional holes in your bumper cover. At this time, you want to grab the splitter and put it in place using 3 screws to hold it as a template to drill your holes. Now you want to line your new splitter up with the edge of the bumper cover, make sure it's flush, mark your holes that you're going to be drilling. Now you want to drill your holes. The holes are required to be a 1/4 inch. You want to start with an 1/8 inch to give yourself a pilot hole. Now that we've drilled our 3 1/8 inch pilot holes, we can get our 1/4 inch drill bit and drill the actual mounting holes. Now you want to repeat the process on the other side. Once you've drilled your holes using the new splitter as a template, you can remove the 3 mounting bolts you'd put in earlier. Now you can put the splitter aside. Now you want to go back to your supplied hardware bag and grab 6 more of the J-clips to install in your newly drilled holes. We're now ready for reassembly. The first step is to remove the J-clips from the factory air deflector since you will no longer be using them. Simply pull up on them and slide them off. You now begin installing your splitter by lining it up with the holes in the front and installing screws into the holes that you just drilled and installed J-clips onto. Now you can install the last 6 supplied J-clips on the 3 points on either end of the splitter. Now you want to grab your modified original splitter to put in place underneath your Roush splitter. First screw you want to install is in this cutout area here, lined up underneath your new splitter. Now do the same thing on the other side to hold the splitter in place. Now you want to install the original splitter into the wheel well area using the factory hardware. Now you're ready to reinstall your factory air deflector. You want to make sure the outside ends fit between your new splitter and your original splitter. Now you want to install 3 of the factory 7mm screws on the outside ends of the factory splitter. And repeat the process on the other side. Now you want to finish installing your factory air deflector using the last 6 supplied bolts in the Roush hardware pack. Last step is to install the rear of the factory air deflector, reinstalling the factory 7mm bolts that we removed earlier. That completes the installation of our Roush chin spoiler on our 2013 Mustang. Due to the lowered stance, it gives the car a nice aggressive look. Figure on about 2 to 3 hours for installation time given the cutting and modifications required, so you'll be back on the road in no time.